And welcome back to another episode of Built to Endure, the podcast where I'm trying to give you hope, motivation, inspiration, and show you that, hey, there is a better tomorrow. We just have to find the right tools to get you there. So today's topic is kind of a little bit controversial. I may have some people come after me, but it's worth it to tell you this information, right? But today's topic is, are your pain pills or pain injections, your pain medications, are they making you hurt more? I know, controversial, but here we go. Let's talk about it. So something that it's really, really important to understand, there's a very big distinction between using pain medication in the acute stage or more kind of more for immediate results as opposed to being on chronic pain medication. Now, I will say from my own patient experience that many of my patients, if in fact, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say about 95% of my patients, when they come in, are on constant and chronic use of pain medication, meaning they've been on pain medication for at least 3 to 6 plus months, which is a long time. Again, there is a difference between needing pain medication to get the just when you initially get hurt, just to help reduce inflammation, reduce irritation, to start the movement process to then build your body back and to eliminate pain. And that is very, very different from relying on pain medication like Advil and Tylenols and all these other things. But then also, not only just over the counter medication, but then going to pain medication like gabapentin or meloxicam, right, or naproxen. This can produce very, very significant bad effects over time if you consistently use them. Now, you may say, I can only function when I use my pain medication. That's what helps me to get up in the morning. And listen, I hear you. I understand. Again, that was the case for many of my patients as well until we finally found the problem, started to work on it, and then they didn't need the pain medication anymore. Right? I will never tell someone to use it or not to use it. I can only advise you against how to make better decisions. But the goal should always be to get off of pain medication because they are, in fact, chronic use of pain medication is making you worse. Now, one of the biggest ways it makes you worse is that when we take pain medication, whether its effects is anti-inflammation or it has a brain and neurological effect, right? But when we take pain medication, typically what happens? Your pain reduces. Now, the problem is with that, although it may seem good on the front end, the problem with that is that when you have a reduction in pain that is artificial, right? You take something, pain drops. You no longer have the feedback. Your body is no longer sending you that and giving you that signal, that alarm bell ringing. Okay, you don't have that anymore, right? You have this false perception of, hey, I'm good. Wow, okay, I'm feeling good. Let's go out and do stuff. Let's go out and go for a hike, go for a walk. Oh yeah, I'm gonna push on a workout. Oh, I'm gonna go out. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Which again, in theory, sounds nice. Of course, it's nice to go out, and of course, it's nice to be able to walk around, move around without pain. But again, remember, you did not solve anything. By your doctor giving you pain medication, they did not solve anything. The same goes for steroid injections, right? Something is causing that irritation, something is causing that inflammation, something is causing your pain. But when you don't have that feedback anymore, the thing that is still causing you the problem is still there. Except now, because you don't have pain, you're doing more. Now you're aggravating the problem even more so. And so over time, what tends to typically happen? Pain medication becomes less and less effective. On top of your body just acclimating to the pain medication, again, your body is very smart and can acclimate to just about anything. So aside from your body acclimating to pain medication and you're needing stronger doses because of that, if you are walking around and doing more because you have reduced pain from pain medication, you are further irritating the problem. Okay, you're making the problem worse. And so you're going to need more and more of that medication to produce an effect. So if Advil used to do the trick, but now isn't, well, guess what? Now we're going to gabapentin or meloxicam. Now, these drugs, the harder the drug, the worse it is. I mean, even Advil and Tylenol, I mean, they're already, they have effects in your body. They do things, especially with chronic use. Listen, I've had patients who've had 6, 7, 8 Advils a day for days on end. And it's horrible for your system. Again, I always want my patients to get off of pain medication as soon as humanly possible. But to do that, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. So again, as long as you're working through, as long as you have a provider who's interested in actually making you better, right? That is when you can start playing around. And again, of course, talk to your doctor about this. But when you're doing the right things for your body to actually heal the problem, to help focus on getting stronger, improving mobility, reducing nerve tension, whatever it may be for you and your body for your issue, as long as you're actively working on those things, that's what's going to help to get off of this pain medication. Now, aside from this lack of feedback, let's call it, right, when you're on pain medication, you also get into a rhythm, something that I see with my patients, right? This rhythm of taking pain meds. A lot of my patients who come to me, who come to work with me, work with my team, and this team, I'm very very proud of them. It's very hard to find PTs that I want to take on and to become part of my clinic. I'm very very selective with who I bring on. But one of the things that we do really, really well is, again, find the root cause of the problem to help not need pain medication to give people their life back. But something that we see pretty early on and like through the middle of the plan of care is that, people are getting better, they're getting stronger, pain is less before taking medication, but they still take pain medication. And when we ask these patients who still take pain medication, even though they're getting better, the response is, well, I don't want it to get bad. Or, well, I'm just taking it preemptively. I'm taking it just in case. Now, again, this formulates a really bad habit. We don't want to take pain killers just in case. Again, this is a psychological issue now, right? Now you're not taking it for physical reasons. Now you're taking it because of fear and anticipation and anxiety of pain. Right? Anxiety is an anticipation of an event happening. Okay, so someone's anticipating being in pain, and so they preemptively take it so that there's no interruption to their day. Again, I understand that too. A lot of people are really busy. They can't afford to be in pain. They can't afford to, work and whatever, life. But you have to give your body a chance to actually bounce back and build back. You can't just keep force feeding pain medication, especially when you may not need it. Now, you'll never know if you need it or don't need it unless you stop taking it. Now, again, I want to emphasize, I'm not telling you to stop your medication or to start medication. It's not the point of what this conversation is about. My goal here is to open up your eyes to the realization that, hey, you need to find out what is the true cause of your pain. And look, if you have a disc herniation, hey, guess what? Disc herniation pain can get better. Your disc can heal, okay, without surgery. Okay, you don't, just because you have stenosis doesn't mean that you have to have pain that's specifically coming from stenosis. Again, sometimes people do. Sometimes if stenosis is truly severe enough, maybe you do need surgery. Maybe you do. But I'll tell you this: I just spoke to someone yesterday. Okay, and he read me his MRI results, and it was mild stenosis. It was stenosis at multiple levels, but it was all mild. And you know what he told me when he went to the doctor, to the spine specialist? The spine specialist says, hey, I have good news and bad news. Bad news is you'll probably need surgery. The good news is you can probably prolong it with some physical therapy. Man had mild stenosis. And talking about surgery, that's insane. But it's that same rationale that people, you get scared into taking pain medication because you believe that is the only way that you can function. But again, the pain medication, like I said earlier, if you don't have the signals, the feedback that your body is telling you, like, hey, pain is an alarm bell. It's an alarm system. If you don't listen to the ring, you're missing the plot here. You're not going to get better. You have to listen to it and find someone who can actively take you out of that situation and find the root cause of the problem and get you feeling better, get you feeling stronger. Instead of more restrictions and limitations and more pain medications, you get, again, like I said before, more strength, more mobility, more flexibility, more independence, more functional ability. Okay, that is the whole point. But if you continue to live your life on pain medication, it's not going to do it. It creates very bad negative feedback loops. It creates massive problems. There's a lot of medication that, again, ruins your insides. Pain medication is toxic. It's really, really, really toxic. And the goal, the other scary part is that when doctors prescribe medication, a lot of times there isn't a plan that comes with that prescription to get you out of pain. They say, oh, this hurts? Okay, try this. Here, have some gabapentin. You can try that for your nerve pain. Or here, try some meloxicam. or here, try some naproxen, or here, try some of this, try this extra strength Advil. But there's no plan of, well, how do I not take it? I go to physical therapy. But for most of you who've been to physical therapy, and the traditional physical therapy sucks. It's horrendously terrible. Traditional physical therapy is awful. And so when that inevitably fails, then what do? Well, we think, okay, the doctor said take medication to go to PT. I went to PT. PT isn't helping. I'm still the same pain, or so I'm worse. So now what do? You take more pain medication. Again, and on the system goes. On and on this whole loop and cycle continues. And again, you cannot afford to live your life chronically on pain medication. It will take years off your life. It will ruin any chance you have at an independent, healthy lifestyle. So this is why this conversation is really important. Again, we need to have the feedback loop. We need to have that feedback of, how is our body changing? What is our body going through? How can we actually get off pain medication to live a better life? But if we have no plan, if we keep going to places that are not in your best interest, that keep you stuck in the same cycle over and over and over again, the pain medications are just going to get worse. They're going to turn you into they're going to numb your brain. They're going to turn you into a zombie. I had a patient once who was given a very high dose of gabapentin. Gabapentin is a serious drug. Once you start hitting about 400, 600 milligrams for the medication, it's a serious drug. It will take you out. It'll make you feel loopy. You can't work. You can't do anything. It's bad. It's really bad. But again, this is all poison to your system. Again, you have to find ways as much as possible to be on the right path, to address what your body's trying to tell you, to address how your body's responding. Right? If something hurts, why? Why does it hurt? And again, as if you're not in the medical field, it's not your job. It's people like me. It's my job to help guide you through that pain. It's my job to tell you what the problem is. It's my job to establish a plan that can not only help you physically, but helps you psychologically and emotionally too. To break the dependence on pain medication, to break the fact that you've probably been limiting and restricting yourself for a very long time, whether it's because of other advice or because you constantly have pain and you feel like your body can't get better. Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, in fact, it can get better. You just haven't found the right person to get you there yet. That's it. And you never know when the next provider that you're going to go to is going to be the one that changes your entire life, that gets you off the pain medication that is awful for your health, to get you to feeling stronger and better and feeling like, hey, okay, I've been in pain for X amount of time. It's happened, right? We can say that time is lost, but it doesn't mean I have to lose my future either. Things can always get better. And as long as you believe that and you find someone who believes in that too, that's how you break the pain medication cycle. That's how you stop its negative effects on your body. That's how you stop the dependence on the pain medication. And that is how you learn to listen to your body better and give it what it needs to be better. So I hope this was helpful. Actually, I want to now transition and to take our first live caller here. Very, very excited. We got Tara from York, PA. Tara in the house. What's going on?
Hey, how are you, Dr. Danny? Good.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm excited to talk to you. How are you?
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, really cool. I've followed you for a while on Instagram, watching your videos and seeing what you have to say. So I took the opportunity to reach out to you guys. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, thank you for being bold enough to come on. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, let's have at it. I wanna hear what's going on. Tell me what's going on in your life.
Well, I've had 2 prior knee surgeries. On my left knee, the last one was in 2003. But back in July, I was walking down my stairs, felt a pop and a burn. Knee started to swell. Went to orthopedic urgent care, and he did X-rays. He's like, nothing's broke. I'm like, well, I know that. Gave me a dose of steroids, calmed the swelling down. Swelling came right back. Ended up giving me a cortisone injection. He's like, well, it's arthritis. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yep.
He referred me to the other orthopedic surgeon, who, again, he's like, it's arthritis. You've had 2 knee surgeries, yada, yada, yada. I work in healthcare. I work for a pharmaceutical company. So I've been in healthcare for 25 years. So I know a little bit more than the average person. He gave me meloxicam to take. I didn't take it. I don't like it. Don't care for it. Sent me to physical therapy. Physical therapy actually made it worse. To now the point where I was like getting my knee around on the bike. Now I can't do that. Can't go up and down stairs, like in a knee brace. We've started the hydrogel injections. I actually go for my 3rd one tomorrow. But I'm actually waiting for a second opinion because this doctor's he did the same. And I've heard your stories like, oh, lose weight. I just saw the one on Instagram this morning. Like, oh, lose weight. I've lost 55 pounds in a year. I'm like, don't think that's an issue.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's just really interesting to hear your take on things versus like traditional, what doctors are doing traditionally, things like that. Yeah, so it's kind of where we're at with everything right now.
Yeah, which from the sounds of it, I'm really sorry to hear that this is all happening. And I know it's the journey that you've been through so far is I'm sure been frustrating, exhausting, and it's probably pretty damn annoying that nobody can seem to find a way to help you without trying to operate on it or continue to inject it and force medication down your throat.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did the MRI. He said there's nothing wrong with it. I have a copy of the MRI. I'm reading it. I'm like, there's some stuff going on in there. Even my physical therapist, he's like, you've got a tear. He's like, he thinks it's a meniscus tear. I think it's a meniscus tear. I've torn my meniscus twice before. You kind of know what it feels like. So, yeah.
Well, did the MRI say that you had a meniscus tear? Did it explicitly say that?
So the MRI specifically said, it did say 2 things. It said mucose degeneration, thickening of the ACL. But then it also said suspected debridement of the free margin lateral meniscus.
Okay.
Those are the only 2 things that it said.
Okay.
It did say there was no ACL tear specifically, but those are the 2 things that it said.
Now, do you still have active swelling?
Yes, active swelling, popping, locking, stabbing pain. Yeah.
Okay. Is it on the inside of the knee?
It is the entire knee.
If you had to think back to when it initially happened, where was the pop initially?
The pop was on the back of the knee.
Okay, like straight center back, or is it like more inside back, outside back, if you remember?
Like straight center back of the knee.
Okay. So, Tara, we have never talked before. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So you've never been in my office. I've never evaluated you, right? So I'm going to take a stab in the dark here. I've had, I don't know how many hundreds of patients come in with pretty bad meniscus tears, even pretty aggressive arthritis. And 1 + 1 does not always equal 2 when it comes to the body. The body is really, really fascinating. The pop, when we talk about a meniscus tear, the classic, situation around a meniscus tear is the pop. It's the lack of stability. It's the locking. It's the buckling. The typical. These are like the typical meniscus symptoms. However, there is also other things that can cause buckling and locking and pain and sharp pain and especially consistent swelling. Typically, what I've seen when there's excessive swelling or consistent swelling, a lot of times it's not the meniscus itself. It's actual irritation and inflammation of the tendons around the knee. The knee is a reactionary joint, and I say this to every single person that is willing to hear it because it's true. Most of the stuff that happens to the knee is a result of the muscles from the hips coming down to the knee, or the muscles from the feet and toes coming up towards the knee. And you can have a pop. Again, if we rewind the clock back to when it initially happened, you can have a pop or a shift or a strain or some kind of something happen and it not be the meniscus. And it can be muscle tissue. And especially if we're talking the back of the knee, especially like right in the smack in the middle of the knee, there's quite a few big muscles that cross that section of the actual leg. And who's to say that because it's been how long did you say it's been now?
That happened in July, so a couple months.
Couple months. Who's to say that because of the pain and probably you're walking different, moving different, obviously because of the pain, who's to say that that problem hasn't kind of expanded into something else? And you said like you've been to traditional PT and it actually made you worse, right?
Yeah.
Did they have you doing like
Yeah, they've
different
actually scaled back my PT.
I mean, that's kind of wild, but did the typical PT, was it like bicycle, hot packs, cold packs, some E-stim, some clamshells, some glute bridges, some calf board stretching? Was it that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool. So, okay. So literally the copy paste
Yeah,
across
hip
the
hinges.
country.
Yeah, hip hinges, all that stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Throw in the there's like compression. They call them the moon boots, like the big compression leg moon boots for to help with the swelling and
yeah, and yet all of it's making you worse.
Yeah. I was on the bike warming up the one day and I noticed it was locking and like I'm having difficulty getting my leg to go around. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just do the rocking back and forth and so the main physical therapist for the practice, he scaled it back. I'm not doing hardly any of that stuff anymore. He's doing a lot of like massage, kind of stretching it, trying to get to straighten all the way, trying to get to bend more. So it's a lot of more manual manipulation versus me being on like a machine or doing the clamshells. And I can't even do a bridge anymore. So
I'll tell you this now. If you were my patient, I would start significantly simpler than that. Even like every unique case, every patient, every single case, no matter how similar on paper, is completely different. And so it sounds like they haven't properly found what your baseline of tolerance is, which is why it's getting worse. Because even if you scale it back, but it's still too much for whatever's causing you the actual problem, it's only going to bring more inflammation. You can do all the manual work that you want, but the inflammation will still be there. Again, like I said, I haven't evaluated you, but it sounds more of like a soft tissue issue. There's something happened when this initially happened, some kind of muscle, maybe slight strain, but then because it hasn't been properly taken care of, it's kind of getting agitated and irritated and keeps causing constant inflammation and swelling. It doesn't sound like a structural issue, just because I've seen like the way you describe it, I've seen so many situations like this. Gosh, you missed.
Yeah, they even thought at one point like patellar tendonitis, but then the doctor's still thinking it's just osteoarthritis. He's like, because of your age. I'm like, that's BS.
Yeah, that's cute.
Oh my gosh, osteoarthritis just like you don't just wake up one day and your knee pops and you're in stabbing pain. Like that's not how that works.
No, of course not. And how young are you?
I am 48.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? And they're saying, oh, it's your age?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, because I've had 2 knee surgeries in my age that it's osteoarthritis. I'm like, no. So yeah.
May those doctors get the same advice if they ever have a problem. My gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I've probably been in the medical field longer than this guy's been a doctor. So.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but yeah, I talked to them about like when I try to bend my knee, like the quad, like right at the knee area, like it's very tight. Like I explain everything that's going on. He's like, yep, yep. Yeah, well, okay, we can try these injections. We can try this. And he asked about the meloxicam. He's like, did you take it? I said, no. He's like, why? I said, and I heard you before, you put me on, like it solves the pain. It doesn't solve the problem. Like,
right.
I don't believe in pain. The pain meds are necessary for certain things, but it doesn't solve the root problem. Pain meds are great. Like you come out of surgery, great. They use some pain meds to help with it, but then you're done. But it's not to help chronic problems like this. My opinion. So
exactly. No, you're exactly right. I mean, and you're right on the cusp of it becoming a chronic issue. The way it's being treated, it's going to become a chronic issue. And this is one of the biggest problems that I see with people is that people deal with too much pain for too long for no reason. Because again, nobody's treating you properly. Everyone's guessing on what it is without taking the time to properly evaluate you and properly give you a proper, like, just an actual baseline of where does your body, Tara, where does your body need to start in particular to solve this problem?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell you, Tara, sometimes it's really the simple stuff that has to be done. Did you miss? I'm actually right smack in the middle of it right now doing the knee challenge. Did you miss that?
I did miss that. I was away on a business meeting, so I completely missed it.
Oh no, it would have been so good for
Yeah.
you. Oh my gosh, it would have been so good for you. Oh my gosh, yeah, because I cover essentially like the things that, obviously, again, it's not like one-on-one treatment, but within this challenge, I cover things that are the basic essentials. Like if someone has horrendously painful knee pain, uh, it covers the basic essentials of where your body has to start and what movements you have to start incorporating to drop swelling, to increase range of motion, to improve strength and stability, and return function back. There are some people in this that are attending this. A lot of people that are seeing extraordinary. Someone bent down to the floor to tie their shoes for the first time in like 2 years. It's like magical things
nice.
are occurring. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'd like to just be able to go up and down stairs normally.
Oh my gosh. Tara, you know what I'd like to do? We'll message you a little bit later. But I want to gift you a free month of my movement platform. Would that be okay for you?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. You don't have to do that.
I want to, no, because this kind of stuff, like, it's so frustrating because I hear the stories every single day. But I'd like to give you a free month of MyoMelt, which is my movement platform. I hold weekly talks on there. There's a program for every part of the body, and I have some of the best techniques and best movements that I give my own patients. And I formulated every single program on there, and I think it would be quite helpful for you.
Oh, it'd be great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll have
That's
Eric
awesome.
reach out to you. We'll set that up. And I look forward to you being able to go up and downstairs and not have any more swelling and irritation, and actually getting back to a strong, functional, independent life.
I hope so. I appreciate it.
I know so, Tara. We're going to make it happen.
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it, Dr. Danny.
Thank you so much, Tara, for joining. Awesome. Very
yes,
good.
thank you.
My pleasure. Oh my gosh. Knee pain is, we treat so many people for knee issues, for knee pain. And like I said, the knee is a reactionary joint. And there's so much damage that the knee can actually go through without it being a real problem. I'll give you a good example. My father, he recently got an MRI, and I gotta say, he has the worst MRI I have ever seen, and I've seen thousands. Okay, thousands of MRIs. He has the worst MRI I have ever seen. And if you're watching this later, Pops, it's true. And I've told him this. He had an ACL tear that he had no idea about. Years and years ago, he had a meniscectomy. Sorry, he had a meniscectomy where they took the entire meniscus out. Now, there are certain portions of the meniscus that can grow back, and the small little sliver of a portion of meniscus that grew back for him in the new MRI, it showed that he tore that too. He has severe osteoarthritis. Okay. The knee, there's like every problem that you could possibly have with the knee, he has it. Okay. Now, the man doesn't have pain. A little while ago, he was having some unsteadiness on stairs. Like he's a very active guy, but and he is 60. Oh my gosh, 66, right? 66. And he had some unsteadiness on the stairs. He did some rehab exercises, some stability exercises, and up and down the stairs he goes. But he had no pain, even though he had the worst MRI I've ever seen. The worst. But he has no pain. So my point is this, is that you can have a horrendous looking MRI, but it doesn't mean that you match the MRI in terms of symptoms. You can have a meniscus tear and not have meniscus symptoms, or you can have meniscus symptoms in the beginning, But then there's tons that you can do to get symptom free, essentially, to stop having those symptoms and live a more strong, more functional, more able life where you don't need to rely on pain medication. So I just think it's really important to mention that I tell this to my patients all the time. You are not your MRI. All right. Now let's go to the next caller. We got Dina from West Haven, Connecticut.
Hello, Dr. Shapiro.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
I am well. How are you, sir?
Good. Staying alive, living life. All the good stuff. What seems to be going on?
Well, I'll start by saying I had a motorcycle accident back in '99, which tore my left meniscus, and I was always afraid of surgery, so I didn't get it. So I kind of depended on my right knee, and then ended up tearing my right meniscus, and so I ended up having to have meniscus surgery, and that was probably, oh God, I think it was about 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just gotten worse since then. I thought things got better for a little while. I did PRP injections, and it helped for a little while, but I'm getting older now. I'm 58. I work as a paramedic on the ambulance, so I'm constantly carrying heavy equipment, and I also work night shifts so that when we're not busy, we're sitting. Unfortunately, we don't have any gyms at our stations or anything like that, so I sit too much. And I know that's a bad thing. But they told me I'm bone on bone now and I need knee replacements. And I am just terrified of that because if I can't kneel, I can't do my job. I can't do CPR. I can't do any of that stuff. So I'm just trying to tough it out. And I've been seeing your videos and thinking, well, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be something I can do to avoid surgery.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons you can do. Tons. Okay, so I mean, look, like this is when did the pain start getting really bad?
About a year ago, it started getting really bad, and unfortunately I take Advil because there's not much else I can do. But if I do any little thing, like I was in New York Saturday and I stepped on a rock which threw me sideways, which twisted everything, and now I'm in like severe pain, and I'm like, I got to do something. I asked for PT, and they're like, well, it's not going to help you. You just need to I need to lose some weight, and I need to get the knee replacements. That's basically what I was told. So
oh my gosh.
I don't know. I got to do something.
Dina, did you hear the last caller, Tara? Did you hear how she lost 55 pounds and the pain? No, there was no change.
No, that's what I keep hoping is that I'll lose the weight and the pain will get better.
No, I mean, I've had people who lost 120 pounds and the pain was worse. There were people who the weight loss thing is kind of a laughable piece of advice because doctors will look at people who are overweight and think, okay, boom, weight loss, that's the thing, that's the thing that you have to do. But it's not. People say, oh, there's extra force through your bones, through your joints. Well, your joints are designed to withstand force, right? Unless you're like 400, 500, 600 plus pounds and you're stuck in bed and you can't move, what are we actually talking about here, right? So but it sounds like you can move, you're just moving with pain.
Yeah, not
yeah. So look, the thing is, and this is the conversation I'll have every single day, is that you can have a bone-on-bone arthritis and not need surgery, and you can actually get better. I've had over the last 6 years, I think the number at the moment is 7 or 8 people. 7 or 8 people, I think, plus minus 1 or 2. 7 or 8 people over the last 6 years who've actually needed surgery for either the knees or their hips. In 6 years, I've seen thousands of people. So, and a lot of these people, yeah, and a lot of these people were told, hey, you have bone on bone. Okay, you have really bad arthritis. We need to operate. And we did not need to operate. And this is what I was talking about with Tara, is that you can have arthritis and arthritic changes in your knee. You can have a meniscus tear. You can have a lot of different things that occur at the knee. But again, the knee for the most part is a reactionary joint. So what we need to understand is what's happening above the knee, what's happening below the knee, right? If you're telling me that you stepped on a rock and the knee kind of twisted and kind of shifted in a weird, awkward way that you probably weren't prepared for, that can cause a lot of tugging and yanking at the joint if the muscles that support the knee are not supporting the knee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's crazy. Was it your doctor who told you that PT wouldn't do anything?
Yeah, he said, well, it was his he has an assistant in there, and she basically said to me, that the best thing you can do is lose 50 pounds, and then we'll do the replacement surgery. And I was like, well, can I get a round of PT? Can I do something? Can I strengthen my legs? I sit there for a long period of time? I try some of the exercises, but then I get afraid, because what if I do some of those ones where you were saying, you stand up on the stool and you move a certain way, and then I tear it more. And I obviously don't know enough about it which, and fear of pain, makes me stop. So that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I want to do something more.
Hey, Dina, can I let you a little secret?
Yes,
right.
Please.
Just don't tell anybody. Okay? Don't tell anyone. The secret, okay, again, keep it on the down low, all right? Don't tell anybody, but the secret is that your body is capable of so many incredible things, and that it can adapt in ways that will blow your mind. Okay? You are not fragile origami paper, Dina. I hate to break it to you, but that's not you. It may feel that way, but that's not you. And the
That's
more,
good to know.
yeah, of course, it's great to know. That's a good little secret. Okay, but the more you start to actually, walk that line of believing that I am not fragile. Okay, I may be in pain for now, but I am not fragile. Okay, and you have to be bold enough to try. I asked Tara the same question. Did you by any chance see the knee challenge that I put up?
Oh, I did not. I'd like to see that.
That would have been great for you to join. We're probably going to do it again, and whenever we do, please join that, because the knee. I love treating the knee. I had this one guy recently came in with brace, as if he had gone through an actual like knee replacement or ACL surgery. He had those kind of braces on, heavy duty braces around his both knees. And he came in limping and side swaying really bad. Massive side sway. Dude was in incredible amounts of pain. He couldn't lay down. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't walk. Used to love like just walking around, roaming around, like doing things, or walking around the city. Couldn't do any of that. Okay, again, when I say like he had a side to side sway, it was huge. Probably one of the biggest walking compensations I've probably ever seen in my career. And again, I've seen a lot of different things. Okay. Within 40 minutes, he was walking the best he's ever walked. No side sway. The pain was down 85%. Like it was, he could not believe it.
That brings tears to my eyes, because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt myself taking the Advil. I don't want to take that. I just want to do something to make myself better before I make myself worse.
Dina, what I would do is, I mean, you're very smart. You're right to ask for PT. I would get back on the line with your doctor or whoever you spoke to there. Instead of asking for it, demand it. Demand the PT script. Okay. Demand it. Don't stop asking. Like they are at your service. Like they should not deny you the right to go to physical therapy. That's crazy. Okay. So once you get that script, the next thing you need to do is a heavy amount of research. Research the clinics that you're going to. If you're going to your traditional physical therapy place, chances are they're probably not going to be able to help you. Right? As Tara was saying, she went through traditional physical therapy and she's actually in more pain. Okay, because they're not doing things that are according to what her body needed. And to most people, this is what happens. It either does nothing or it makes them worse. because the typical clinic does not cater to what your personal baseline is. They give you the same thing they're going to give to every other knee pain patient that comes through their doors. And that's not the way therapy is done.
Yeah. That's what I've seen that. Yep.
Exactly. So you have to do incredible, unfortunately, because this is the healthcare landscape that we live in. Insurance companies do a beautiful job of watering down healthcare. And this is the reason why a lot of PT places suck, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do incredible amounts of research to make sure that the provider that you choose truly has your best interest in mind. They listen to you, they respect you, they change things at the flip of a hat if they need to cater to your issue. And ultimately, their sole purpose should be to get you out of the clinic as soon as possible, because that should always be the goal of healthcare. But that's what I would recommend. Demand the script for PT, get to PT, okay, see what that experience is like once you find a good PT. And the next time you see me posting about my my squat and walk challenge, you join that thing so fast. I want you to crash my website. Join it so fast.
All right. I wish I could come into New York and see you, because I just want to get this done and I want to move forward in life. I'm not doing stuff that I should be doing, and I want to get back to that.
I know, Dina. I wish we didn't only have to, like, we can only work in states that we're licensed in, right? So that's New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts,
Right, yeah.
and Florida. And I wish we had more freedom. But that's why I do these challenges every now and then. That's why I have the movement platform, MyoMelt, because it's the only other way that I can go out and help people. Unless someone literally, I remember I had one guy who traveled 6 hours every time he came to see me from Pennsylvania, because he couldn't find anything within the city that he lived in. So he would travel 6 hours. Which is a brutal commute, if you ask me. But we got the job done, so worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I remember hearing you say that you had people from all over the country coming to see you, and I didn't know if insurance covered that, but I'm like, I got to see him, or I got to find out what I can do to get better, because I don't want surgery.
Of course, that's always the goal, right? If we can prevent surgery, the goal should always be to prevent surgery. That's always the goal, because we want to, retain our independence. And if you do get the surgery, this is the other thing, right? So imagine, let's say you do need the surgery. Let's just for a moment say that you do. Because as I said, I've had a handful of patients. I recently just had a patient who had gone through a hip replacement, and she's pretty young too, but she needed one. Like, she actually needed one, unfortunately. The pre-op work that we did was intensive. Very intensive, because she not only had joint pain, that wasn't the only thing that was contributing to her pain. She had nerve pain. She had muscle pain that was all on top of the joint pain. And had we done none of it, and she just gone for the procedure, chances are she would have been still in incredible amounts of pain. That stuff doesn't go away just because you have the procedure. And so
I remember that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember you saying that in one of your videos. Just because you have the surgery doesn't mean the pain will go away.
Exactly. Because if it's not just joint pain, well, then you're in a boatload of trouble. Because again, after the procedure is done, you may have a brand new joint, but the same muscle irritation and weakness that was there, still there. The same nerve irritation and nerve symptoms that you have, still there. If anything, it's going to be worse, because after the procedure, there is some downtime. So all of my patients who've done pre-op care with me, even if they needed to go for surgery after, I mean, when it comes to those follow-up appointments with the surgeon is always shocked. Is always shocked when they come in and the surgeon says, "Whoa, how are you this good?" And it's only been 6 weeks. Must be magic. I don't know.
That's what I want. There's got to be stuff I can do, even just sitting at my desk at work, that can help strengthen my knees. I mean, that's why I keep watching all your videos and keep trying different things.
Again, there's tons that you can do. right? There's tons that you can do. Just remember, don't look at yourself as being fragile. Your body is capable of change and adaptation. You just have to give it the tools and keep trying things, right? If you're trying something and it's pulling or causes pressure or causes some stretching sensation or something is burning and activating, cool, embrace those sensations, right? If something is sharp, if something is like a sharp stabbing pain, okay, that we want to avoid. But if it's pulling,
Okay.
stretching, pressure, working, like these are all very positive, necessary activations.
Okay.
All right, so you have some exploring to do.
Yes,
Is
I
that
do.
right? Yes,
Thank
you
you.
do.
Thank you, Dr. Shapiro. I will look for your class.
Yes, my pleasure, Dina. I hope this was really helpful, and I'm wishing you so much health and so much success. And I really, truly hope that you feel your best, that you can avoid surgery, you don't have to take Advil, and whether you're working or living or walking around New York City again, that you do so without pain.
Me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the call.
My pleasure, Dina. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
It always, I love that we started doing these calls where, these episodes where we get to talk to people live and, from all different parts of the country, different parts of the world. It just makes me sad every time I hear, this kind of story. To have, whether it's a doctor or a PA or a medical assistant, to say, "Oh no, don't do PT, no, let's just listen, just bring in the big bucks and let's just do the surgery. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay." It's not. It's not okay. And I am so happy to say that we have prevented so many surgeries. We've prevented people from taking so much unnecessary toxic pain medication. My team and I, we've done such incredible things for so many people, and our thing is like the culture I set up in my clinic is to do your best. Listen, all we can do is our best. We're not God. We're not the most perfect thing in the world, right? But what we do is our best. We do our best to understand the problem. We do our best to cater to your problem. We do our best to be excellent diagnosticians, which we are. We do our best to program wisely and in accordance to what your body needs and what your body has to go through, which we do. And that's the kind of provider that you want behind you. And again, like I said, even if you need to go for surgery, even if you have to go get a procedure done, wouldn't it be nice to know that if you have this procedure, you're not going to be in more pain? Because I have to tell you, I talk to people on an almost daily basis, hundreds and thousands of people who have gone on for a knee replacement, who have gone on for a hip replacement, who have gone on for a spinal fusion or a discectomy or a nerve ablation, and still are in tremendous amounts of horrendous pain, are still in dysfunction, are still have problems doing the things that they enjoy. And doctors will never tell you. They may say, "Oh, you need a hip replacement," but if you ask, I challenge all of you to do this. If you ask them, "Hey, doc, do you guarantee that my pain will go away?" Well, there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees of anything. Probably, but I can't say for certain until we do the surgery. It's probably something along the lines of that is what they'll say. Nothing, no procedure. You can do about injections. You can do the same thing. Hey, would the steroid injection take my pain away? Hope so. That's what they'll probably say. Yeah. You need a steroid injection for this knee arthritis to calm down inflammation. Oh, but will it take my pain away? It should. There's no guarantee, but it should. Oh my God. This stuff angers me. Angers me so much. Because it's all temporary. It's temporary cover-ups of the symptoms instead of actually trying to fix the problem. And again, if you do need to go for surgery, so be it, fine. But there's still so much work to do before that even happens. to make sure that if you do need to have a surgery, that you don't have to continue on living on pain medication and living in dysfunction. Because you don't have time for that. Life goes by so fast and it goes so quickly. You don't have time to sit on the sidelines. You don't have time to not do the things that you enjoy. You don't have time to miss out on valuable moments and days of your life. You don't have time for that at all, no matter what age you are. I just want people to be pain-free. That's all I want. Is that too much to ask for? I don't know. I hope not. Every shooting star I see, that's what I wish for. But in any case, I hope this episode was helpful, and I hope this brings a little bit of motivation and a little bit of inspiration. And always remember, just like I told Dina, your body is not fragile. It is not. No matter who tells you that it is, or who makes you believe that it is not. And as long as you remember that, as long as you're bold enough to try new things and willing to try new things, that's all you need to get better. Remember, you are built to endure. Never forget that. Thank you for joining on this episode. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you again next time.